This is Empire Sports Alliance, unfiltered. No fluff, no filters, just the real side of sports. We're talking athletes, coaches, agents, doctors, executives, the people behind the scenes who actually move the needle. From building careers to surviving the grind to winning off the field. This is where real conversations collide.
Welcome to another episode of Empire Sports Alliance Unfiltered. I'm Ronnie, I'm the wealth guy. Got my co-host here, Eric.
Hey everyone, Eric, sports chiropractic, physio concierge services.
And today we got Dexter Lawson Jr. with us, defensive back. Dexter, welcome to the show.
How you guys doing? It's a pleasure having me.
Doing great. So, we have had several, folks on the show in terms of different sports, etc. And what we normally do is we kind of like start with you in terms of like, hey, and how did you get started in football, right? Really kind of like, from the early ages on, like, when was the first time you touched a football? You decided to, to go that route. What other sports did you play? So with that, let's just get started and, have us talk, or you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Pretty much just Dexter Lawson. Like you said, I'm a defensive back. Played professionally for going on 4 years now, 3 years in the CFL. Originally from Bloomfield, Connecticut, right outside of Hartford, the capital. Just a kid with a dream. Coming out of high school, not really, very under-recruited, not really getting any offers or anything like that. Kind of made a way for myself once I landed at Central Connecticut State. Became an All-American while I was there. And then just kept on grinding, decided to enter the transfer portal and landed at Appalachian State on a bigger program, bigger level and things of that nature. And just continue to dominate, though, just to prove myself right. And was able to parlay that into a decent career in the CFL. I'm still a free agent right now, unfortunately, but, through the grace of God and everything that goes on, I'll be right back in Canada, hopefully.
Right on. Well, let's go further back. Let's go further back in terms of like when was the first time you started, thinking about football, playing football as a kid, or other sports.
So it's funny. It's crazy because the World Cup is going on right now. My first sport was actually soccer. Through my Jamaican background, and I just remember being in Bloomfield and our soccer practice was like right across from our football practice. So just always seeing a lot of my classmates and things always going to football where I'm, playing soccer and things of that nature. But at recess, it was always I played football with the rest of my friends and things of that nature. And I think my first year playing football, I was about 7 years old, and I fell in love with it as soon as I started. It was crazy though. I didn't like getting dirty. I didn't really like touching the ground. So that's kind of why I was so good, because once I got the ball in my hands, I didn't really like going to the ground. So it's just running away from people and it's the elusiveness. And then I didn't really start playing defense until, I kind of got a little bit older and I started falling in love with that.
So at that point, did you still play soccer?
No, I stopped playing soccer, but a lot of the footwork and things of that nature translates to football. So I was actually fortunate enough to, start off with soccer, get my feet work right, and then that's kind of why defensive back and, football now is just so easy for me. It's just because of that soccer background with my feet, just being able to use my feet and have great agility and things of that nature.
So is being a defensive back has that always been your main position? Or, we've talked to guys who were one thing in high school and a totally different position in college or even the pros. Did you swap around at all?
Yeah, my main position for football was actually quarterback. It actually helps me now because all the way up until my last year of high school, I was playing quarterback the entire time offensively. And it helps me because I know what the quarterback is looking for. And I know because I've been in that situation, probably obviously not at that level that I play at now, but, it's some of the, the basics and things of that nature that quarterbacks are looking for. I'm able to decipher that, and then it kind of helps me from a defensive side because I'm able to position my body or, put myself in the places where, the quarterbacks don't want me to be, or even sometimes just baiting the quarterback, making them see something that's not really there, and then go ahead and jump and make a play on a ball. So it helps me, I feel.
All right. And then what was it, the jump from high school to college? How different was that for you? And then what year did you decide to transfer to Appalachian State?
Yeah, so from high school to college, it was kind of crazy because I was used to playing both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and I was like, obviously with offense, I'm used to having the ball in my hands. So when I went to college, fortunate enough for me, I was recruited as an athlete, so they didn't know whether they were going to put me on offense or defense. So during that, time before I went to college, I was just training both sides. And I had a conversation with the coach, and I just asked him, like, what position would get me on the field fastest? And they had more of a need at the defensive back position, and then I just went all in on the defensive back position from there. And that's kind of how it parlayed the rest of my career. And then just as far as what was your other question?
What year of college did you transfer?
Oh yeah, so I had graduated from Central Connecticut State in 22, so I transferred to Appalachian State in that summer. So I only had 1 year eligibility at that point due to COVID, and I was able to win the starting job through the summer and do all those things. And I ended up playing in a lot of big games, making a lot of big plays. We ended up upsetting Texas A&M while they were ranked number 6 that year. I forced a big fumble in that game. We had a big game against University of North Carolina that went almost to overtime. It was a crazy shootout. We won on a
What year was that, Dexter? What year was that?
That was 2022.
22? Okay.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah, we won on the Hail Mary against Troy while College Game Day was there. It was an exciting year for me, especially my first year being an FBS level. But not only that, I led my team in interceptions, led my team in forced turnovers as well. So just coming from a kid that couldn't really get any offers coming out of high school to playing at this higher level and still being dominant, I think it's just a testament to who I am.
So what year was that in terms of for you? Were you a senior?
I was a graduate transfer, yes. So I had already graduated, so I just had one more year, my 5th year.
Yeah.
So going from college, being the big man on campus, and doing so well, what was it like going into the CFL? Was it a slap in the face, like, oh, these guys are all good, or what was it? A reality check or what?
I think it was definitely a reality check. I think it was fortunate enough for me. I wasn't really aware because I don't really have too many people that around me that went professional and things of that nature. So I really wasn't aware of how cutthroat the next level was. So when I got the call to go to Canada, I thought I was automatically in. Like, I didn't realize I was even trying out for a team. Like I was just showing up because okay, it's training camp and you're gonna do good and you're gonna make the team and then you're gonna have a career and things of that nature. But so I think for me, with that mindset, not putting that extra pressure on myself and not knowing what I know now, how cutthroat the business actually is, it allowed me to kind of just go out there and be free and be myself the entire time. And I think that's what the team fell in love with, just me being myself and me just being confident and not really having any fear while I was out there. And it allowed me to play a lot faster too and just make plays. So like my rookie year, I made the team, but I went to practice squad. But by week 2, I was on the field starting. So it was everything was just happening so fast. And I just remember my first game I was playing in Toronto, and I had dropped the interception. It was a crazy acrobatic play. It just went right through my hands, but I just felt like I belonged. And my dad was at the game. It was Father's Day. It was actually like 3 years ago from this weekend. So
nice.
Yeah, so it's this kind of a full circle moment. But my dad was at the game. He had drove up there once we got the news that I was playing, and yeah, it was a cool experience. And I think while I was there, I just grew and I matured just as a football player, and not only that, just as a professional, just showing up every day early, making sure I'm in the building by 6 o'clock, 6:30, and then even when things are done, all the mandatory things are done, I'm still putting in that extra overtime after and staying in the building. I think that's what a lot of the front office and a lot of the coaches and a lot of my teammates appreciate about me, just my professionalism at even a younger age, and I think that's what kept me.
I was going to ask, was that always your approach? You never had that was always kind of like from a very young,
Yeah. Yes,
career?
I think anybody that's ever played with me or anybody who has ever coached me can say that's always been my approach through even college. Like for me, when I had transferred, I was always the like that when I was at Central Connecticut State, but we
Yep.
didn't have as many resources being that we were a smaller school. So once I went to App State, I have all these bigger facilities, and I'm able to scan in into the facility at any point in time of the day that I want to. It's like I was living there because one, for me, I had missed that when I was at a smaller school, and then two is just like my mindset is this is my job, even though I'm a student athlete and things of that nature, and I know where I want to be at, and I know I want to take this thing to the next level, so I have to treat myself as if I'm already there and not wait till I'm get there to kind of try to flip that switch. So I had already had habits of treating myself as a professional and always being in the building, doing the extra little things, making sure I'm taking care of my body, doing the cold tub, hot tub treatments and things of that nature. And I've just always carried myself that way. So once I went to the professionals, it was like I was just doing the same thing. It just was at a different level. It was just in a different location for me.
So at App State, what about the staff in terms of like how was that? Is that already like a professional organization if you look back at it?
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's like most FES programs, it's like the NFL is the standard. Like as soon as you walk in the building, you have the big NFL emblem, and you got a bunch of names of guys that came from the school
Yep.
that are in the NFL and things of that nature. So that's kind of like the standard when you walk in there. It's like this is the expectation. Whereas from my older school, I couldn't find an NFL team or anything, just lying around campus. It wasn't really, people from that school didn't really make it to that level, and it wasn't really a thing like that. But I had, like I said, I always had the mindset that I knew where I wanted to go and where I wanted to be at. So I always, even in situations like that where it may not be pushed onto me, I will push it onto myself anyways. And then with App State, the coaches, that's all they talk about. We had, during summertime, we weren't really watching film on our opponents yet, but we're watching nothing but NFL tape from the year before, and we're breaking out NFL tape and NFL techniques and different cornerbacks and DBs and things of that nature, just so that way we could be advanced. And we had access to all the NFL film, and it was like I said, I could just go in there at any point in time of the day and just pull up a game, and I'm watching an all 22 film, not like the TV copy. I'm watching the real the copy that they get that they study. So it was pretty cool, and I kind of fell in love with that, and I actually learned how to watch film and things of that nature around that time. So it was a good experience for me.
So does that make you, I mean, obviously you're young and you still have a career, but do you say, man, I really liked analyzing it and picking it apart? Would you ever get into coaching and pursue that afterwards?
Yes, for sure. So right now, what I do in the off season is I actually train a bunch of defensive backs that are in my community, young guys that are like in college and in high school, and I just try to be someone that I wish was around when I was coming up around their age. Like I said, I come from a state and a community that doesn't really breed too many professional athletes. So me, I feel like being the guy that kind of got to that point, it's only right that I give it back, and I feel like that's the only way I grow the kids in my community with inspiration that way. And then even on top of that, I went to school for journalism, so like I love talking about sports. I love sports broadcasting and things of that nature. And it's kind of funny because I can't watch a football game without watching it from like a analytical lens. Like it's like I can't just sit back and enjoy the game.
So you're not the right guy to bring to the bar. You're just going to start
no, not at
dissecting
all.
every step.
I was just going to say, are you fun to be with or annoying?
I mean, I try to just stay quiet as much as I possibly can, but it's like sometimes when I'm walking with my friends or other people and they just say things that don't make any sense, I have to fight the urge not to correct them sometimes.
I mean,
But
it's like when a Jets fan says something stupid about football.
Oh, Eric. Oh, Eric. But yeah, no. Well, every once in a while, I do say stupid stuff, not just about football. But no, to that point though. So again, you're the quiet guy. Eric and I are going back and forth, talking about the game, and you're just kind of sitting quietly there. I'm like, oh, what's next? What do you do there? So you just have that analytical lens.
yeah, for sure. And it's like even when I'm watching the game, it's like I'm
Yeah.
watching pre-snap before the ball is even snapped. I'm breaking down like the formation that the offense is in. I'm breaking down what the defense is showing. Looking at the cornerbacks and the DBs and what they might be doing and the down and distances and what could potentially be the play call. Like I'm doing all of this in my mind as if I'm on the field, but not only that, as if I'm a analyst as well. So it's like I don't even know how to turn it off at this point. It's just like the only way that I know to watch football at this point.
So since we're on that topic, then, right? And why don't we nerd out a little bit more in terms of like cornerback, right?
Yeah.
And we had Eric. We had what basically linebacker, safety. We had on. We don't really had a pure cornerback on yet. So,
Chris.
oh, that's true. So yeah. But didn't you play linebacker too?
Who I did.
He was quarterback in the NFL. Chris Stevler.
Oh no! I say corner. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, corner.
Sorry.
Yeah. So,
You guys know Chris
so but
Trent?
Chris Trevor, yeah. He
Yeah.
was on the show before.
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was my teammate last year.
Wait, I
Oh,
was
that's right, you're
just
playing catch.
texting him to treat him
Yeah.
this week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's my teammate this past year in Winnipeg. He just
Yeah. He just had his retirement party up there.
Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Trevi, yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll come back to that. But now, from a cornerback perspective,
Yeah.
do you mentioned soccer? Obviously, you learned a lot in terms of footwork. What's most important from a cornerback perspective? Is it pre-snap? Is it footwork? All of the above? How would you rank it? How would you prioritize it? How do you learn and teach yourself? And what are the workouts in terms of getting better from a physical perspective?
Yeah, for cornerback, I believe it's technique over everything. I think we're in a day and age where everybody is preaching speed, but I think technique beats everything physically. So if I know that I can get to where I need to be, when the ball gets there, then it doesn't really matter how fast I get there, as long as I'm there when I need to be there. So for me, I always, especially when I'm training with the younger guys, I'm teaching them technique, but most importantly, just understanding the game from a psychological standpoint, from the shoulders above. So that's, like I said, pre-snap. I'm always dissecting what formation the offense is coming out in, what's the personnel, what's the down and distance, so what's the probability of a run or a pass play. And then if it is a pass play, what are the route concepts or route combinations that they're most likely to run at this point in time of the game? So I like to break it down into layers from a psychological standpoint, all pre-snap, and then post-snap for me is all technique. And then once the ball in the air, it's God-given ability at that point. It's how high are you able to jump, how quick are you able to break on the ball, and then how effectively are you able to play the ball in the air. And this is all happening in milliseconds. And the more I train, I try to train real in-game situations, especially when I'm training for myself, just because I understand the situations that I'm gonna be in. So the more comfortable I get in those uncomfortable situations, it's easier for me once those situations come about.
Man, I'm going to call you the Rain Man of football.
It's a lot that goes into it.
Right. So, what's the biggest play you busted because of your ability to foresee it before it even happened?
Yeah, I think honestly, I made a lot of great plays just in my whole life, but most memorable will probably be my first professional interception. We were actually It was a home game, and it's kind of crazy because it's like one of the other games where my whole family came. Well, not my whole family, but my mom, my dad, and my sister came to the game. That was the only game that all three of them were there at one time. And I just remember it was a close game. We were playing at home in Hamilton against the BC Lions, and we had a cover zero call. And if you guys don't know what a cover zero is, we're basically sending all out pressure with no help over top. Yep. And so it's a high risk, high reward type of defense. All it takes is one person to slip and it's a touchdown.
So you're pure man coverage is what you're saying. You're left on an island by yourself.
Yeah, I'm on an island with no help at all. But the funny thing about it is, I just remember we had three receivers to my side, and I'm at the corner, so I'm all the way on the edge on number one. And I just remember number one kind of running a hitch route, like a 5-yard hitch route. And it was more of a decoy route just to keep me occupied, to set up from the third receiver to set up a corner ball to kind of open up that window for the corner ball. And, the quarterback, he obviously knew the pressure, so he only has one read, and he sees the corner ball wide open because the DB that was playing him was inside leverage. And he just throws it. And I remember just as soon as he ran the 5-yard hitch, I just got my eyes and I just started going back towards the corner ball. Yeah. And the ball just ended up being in the air. And it still was like, as I'm tracking the ball, it felt like the ball was out of my reach. And I just run up with one hand and I grabbed it and I snagged the ball with one hand. And it was like this crazy play. I grabbed the ball, I fell, got up, and kind of like returned for like 85 yards. We ended up getting a call back for a crackback, but it was an amazing play. And for it to be my first interception as a pro, and my family to be there, I think, and it was a primetime game. It's just like all this. It's kind of felt like that Odell catch, like ish. Yeah, probably not as big, obviously, but.
So you're at the quarterback. You break off your initial receiver that you were supposed to cover. You go drop deeper. You make a one-handed catch, untouched, and then you return it 85 yards.
85 yards.
That was your first interception?
My first career interception as a pro, and it felt like, I just remember when I was running with the ball, I couldn't hear anything. It was like white noise. It felt like a dream, and then it was just like, it was later on in the season, but it just made me feel like, I can do this. I can do this. Like, I belong here. And it's just
how many pick sixes do you have?
On my career?
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest. I know I caught a lot when I was in high school. I think I only had one or two when I was in college, and so yeah, I don't know. I have more kick return touchdowns than I do pick six.
Oh, you're special team guys too. All right.
Yeah. So like I said, I used to have the ball in my hands like all the time when I was in high school and playing quarterback and things of that nature. So I know how to carry the ball and return and things of that nature. So I've always, once the ball is in my hand, I'm an offensive player again.
Mm-hmm. But was there ever any chance, from a perspective like when you had your last year in college, where it's like, hey, maybe you get a call from an NFL team, combine, that kind of stuff? What was that like?
Yeah, so coming out of college, obviously went through pro day and things of that nature. I actually got a couple calls from. I got a call from the Chargers and the Rams right before the draft, the day before the draft. They were telling me that I was on their board, but you got to take stuff like that with a grain of salt. They kind of called a lot of people and things of that nature. And then I think after the draft, the Rams wanted me to come for a mini camp, and then the Chicago Bears wanted me to come for a mini camp. But all their mini camps was aligned at the same time as the Hamilton Tiger Cats camp, and my agent felt as though the Tiger Cats was more of a solid opportunity, and we didn't want to really miss out on that, so I decided to go to Canada first, and hopefully the way I wanted to go was to hopefully get a workout after my first season. It never came out like that, but I'm still grateful for the career that I've been having, and people get picked up from the CFL just about every year and things of that nature. So it still can be in the works, but I'm obviously realistically enough to know that I'm good where my feet is at as well.
And so now you're doing indoor football, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Right now I'm staying right now in Orlando doing indoor football.
How's that game different from the CFL and NFL?
Yeah, it's a very big adjustment. It's one of those things where it's like you're better than this, but it's kind of like you're waiting. So it's like you try not to overlook it as well. You don't want to practice any bad habits or anything like that. Like I still approach this as if this is the highest level, just so that way I keep my habits correct and things of that nature. But it's just the dynamics of the game is just two completely different things. The field is only 50 yards. The end zones are only 8 yards. It's only 8 people on the field at a time on each side. So it's just like a very fast-paced, small, kind of like arcadey type of game. It's like something that I don't try to get used to it, obviously, but it's a cool game to kind of like be a part of. I just like it because it's a lot of passing going on, so it helps me be able to win in smaller spaces and things of that nature. So it helps me stay sharp with my technique and my.
Did you guys see the movie for the Kurt Warner story, where he's
Yeah.
actually talking about how he benefited from like the Arena Football League in terms of the speed,
Yeah.
and then obviously translated. I mean, you play quarterback too. Do you feel like, again, from a speed of the game, even from a cornerback perspective, do you think that there's stuff to learn there as well that could translate in again CFL or NFL?
Yeah,
type
for
of play?
sure. I think because it's the field is so small, like every pass is it just happens so quickly. There's no flight time as far as the passes. Like there's deep balls obviously, but the ball isn't traveling as far, so it's not really that much time for much recovery speed from a defensive standpoint. So for me, it challenges me to be close and stay in phase with my receiver at all times because just a little bit of space is all it takes for the ball to be right on the receiver that fast.
So is that more of a offense game or a defense game? Who has
It's more.
the advantage?
It's. I think it's more of an offensive game. I think obviously you could look at the scores. It's like always high scoring because the field is so small. It's only so far they can go. And you still have to 10 yards for each drop. First down is still first and 10 and things of that nature. But the field is only 50 yards, so it's like, and then you still have a kickoff. And once they return it, they're getting to about midfield each time. So it's like they really only going 25 yards to the end zone sometimes. So it's definitely an offensive game, but it challenges us as defensive players to just be more sound with our technique and just be more intentional and intricate with everything that we do because everything happens so fast. And they still have high motion just like in the CFL with 2 players could be in high motion too. So everything's happening a lot faster and things of that nature. So it helps me technique wise, but it's not nothing that I want to get used to, obviously.
Right. So I'm curious. You definitely studied the game, and when you got to App State, you were saying how much you utilize the facility and all that kind of stuff. What kind of recovery do you do? I fly around with players, so I've flown out for NFL players, MLB and stuff. With the CFL and the indoor, do you have access to all that, or are you having to go out on your own and bring it in, or how's all that work for you?
Yeah, well, the CFL was pretty much ran similar to the NFL, where we had hot tub, cold tubs, training staff, all there for you whenever you need them. I remember in the CFL, my daily regimen would just go in at 6:30, get my lift in and stuff like that, and then hop in the hot tub before practice, and then after practice, hop in the cold tub and do contrast, cold tub, hot tub. And then I will mess with the trainer staff, whether I have a little nicked up from practice or things of that nature. May get some scraping or some massage. I think I was getting a massage like once or twice a week, every week when I was in the CFL and things of that nature. But out here in Orlando, fortunate enough for the team that I'm with, we have access to a lot of different facilities, recovery facilities where we can go get IV, we can go do hot cup, cold cup, contrast, and we can do a lot of different recovery things and all that we need we can get to. The only thing is it's not in one central location like a facility. So that's the only downside is where we have to kind of travel to different places for different things where everything is not in one central location. But I still try to, carry myself as a professional as much as possible and take care of my body. So whatever it takes for me to get to where I need to get to make sure my body's right, I'll make sure I do so.
I'm curious, does the CFL, I'm assuming the CFL does, I'm not sure about Arena, do they test for peptides? Like, are you allowed to use peptides? Because I know it's technically banned for the NFL, MLB, NBA, all that. How about you guys?
Yeah, the CFL, we still get randomly tested. It's funny, when I was in the CFL, I think each year I was in the CFL, I got tested randomly like 2 or 3 times each season, which was, I feel like it's excessive. But
So you said 2 or 3 times that the testing was random?
yeah, no, just me alone. Like
Okay.
yeah, they'll come after practice. They'll come after the game. Like any point in time, they'll come and pull guys. Like there's like a random test in the CFL for each team, probably like at least like twice a week for each team or something like that, and they'll pull like 5 or 6 guys and just have them randomly tested and things of that nature. But in the arena, there's no testing at all. So I don't know what guys got going on, but obviously, that type of stuff stays in your bloodstream and in your feet for a certain amount of time. So I don't. Obviously, I could get a call to Canada tomorrow and they test me, and if something comes up, I'll be right back home or something. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be suspended. So I don't indulge in it. I don't even feel like I need to do any of that for the position that I play. Like I don't really need to be as physical as like some of those guys in the trenches.
And what about supplements? Are you taking NSF sport supplements, or do you just take whatever you feel is best?
Yeah, I try to just keep a clean diet. I just do all natural, just fruits and things of that nature. The most I'll do for me is like I'll probably get a couple extra electrolytes in there, things of that nature. But I don't really indulge in too many supplements. I haven't really done much research on any supplements that I feel like I need to benefit myself, but so I just keep it natural right now.
Yeah.
What does your diet plan, your meal plan look like, throughout a regular week, when you're playing?
Yeah, so for me, I try to cook for myself. I think I find that the best for me because I know what's going into my body for the most part. So like I try to always for breakfast give me 3 eggs, a little bit of cheese. I might have some turkey bacon, and then for lunch I try to go with like a salad with some meat, whether it's steak or chicken.
Chicken, fish type of stuff?
Yeah, try to get my greens in. And then for dinner, give me some rice and some chicken with some greens, or I might do a pasta. I love chicken Alfredo, so I might do a pasta. And I remember when I was in the CFL, every night before game day, I would always go to a steakhouse and get me a nice cut of steak, steak and
How
potatoes.
many calories are you eating a day?
I don't track my calories, and that's probably not a good thing. But you know how I track my calories? I look in the mirror and I try to see what I'm working with.
See if the belt still fits.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously in your position, you need to have speed, right? I mean, that's your diet plan looks a little different than a defensive tackle.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
definitely.
what steak did you pick? What do you go? Ribeye? You going fillet? You going from
I'm between a ribeye and I love a good New York. I'll always love good New York. Yeah, I'm at the medium stage right now. I graduated to medium last year. I was always at medium well for the longest.
medium well? Dexter, please.
So you
Yeah,
eat leather.
Yeah, a lot of my friends actually go, well done, and I'm just like, man, why are you wasting your money right now? Like, what are you doing?
We need to get you to medium rare.
I
You
can't
know,
do it. I can't do it. I don't
a
think I
little
could.
pink in the middle. That's
I don't know if I could do it. I don't like to see the
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 blood.
yeah. I don't like to see the oozing blood. I can't do it.
Nice. Well, good. So you got your training down, you got your nutrition down. Sorry, Eric, were you going to say something?
No, no.
All right. No, no. I'm wondering from my perspective, obviously on the the planning, financial side of things. How did you feel like in terms of when you were in college? Was it the same from an NIL perspective, opportunity from a sponsorship perspective, making a few extra dollars, and what is the CFL like from that perspective? Kind of more the business aspect of things.
Yeah, no, I actually feel like I missed out on the big paydays that the guys are getting right now in college. I feel like NIL came about maybe like a year or two.
Just right after you, I feel like from a
Yeah,
timeline
like
perspective, right?
well, it opened up while like my last year that I was in college, but it wasn't how it is now, where where guys have collectives and schools are giving guys contracts and things like that. Everything that
Hmm.
we were doing when I was in college was on our own, basically. Like, let's go to this mom and pop shop and let's
Yep.
get free donuts for a week or stuff like that. There's only obviously the bigger name guys, they were getting like car deals and things like that. But even at App State, not too many guys were really getting crazy NIL deals while I was there. Like money wise, we were just getting like some incentives and things like that, as far as like, here's a free T-shirt, or promote our brand and we'll give you a discount when you come into the shop and things of that nature. But what the guys are getting now, and like I said, I train a lot of athletes that are in college right now, and they come up to me all the time and like, Dex, man, if you were in school right now, you would probably be getting this, this, and this. I'm like, please don't tell me this. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't help you now. I can't go
For
back.
it
So.
or against it? Do you think they did the right thing, or is it out of control the way it's gone?
yes, I think I was having this conversation with Ronnie a couple weeks ago. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm for it, for them getting paid, but I think that needs to be monitored a little bit better. I think obviously it's like the wild wild west right now in college football and all of college sports, just with no like, there's no accountability right now, obviously, and even just on the athlete side, it's just like there's no financial literacy that's being, taking place, as far as like making sure these, like, my whole thing is like, if you're going to give these kids a bunch of money, I think it would make sense just to make it mandatory for each student athlete to take at least one financial literacy course through college, just so that they know what they're doing with this lump sum of money. Because most of these kids are coming and they're getting this crazy amount of money that majority of their family never even seen before. So it's like they automatically become the head of their household at 18, 19 years old, and they don't really have anybody in their corner to kind of make sure that money is doing right by them, and they're able to, still have that money after, college is done with. And I think it's unfortunate because, even some of the kids that I train, I'm seeing them coming home with a bunch of chains and cars and stuff, and I'm just like, I hope this is not where all this money is going to right now, because it's like these are not good investments for long
Do-
term. But that's the only issue that I really have is obviously, with the money thing, they can just bounce around, and it's the highest bidder is going to get the best team, obviously. So it kind of it's hard for some teams to kind of survive because they don't have as much capital as other teams. But not only that, it's just for the kids and their well-being and their future. I just wish that they had at least some mandatory financial literacy classes, so that way they can.
So,
Yeah.
from a physical aspect, you're saying again, they got all the facilities, right, nutritional, all that stuff. But when it comes to the financial literacy perspective, it's not that the school, and I'm not, picking on them particularly, like just in general, it doesn't seem like there's programs involved where, again, because this is a lot of money that's changing
Yeah.
hands a lot of times,
Yeah,
right?
it's so
And
crazy.
you talk about very young people, so
Yeah, it's so crazy because it's like I don't even know where this money is coming from, and I'm looking at the numbers, and like I don't know if you guys been seeing it though. Like it's a page on Instagram or something that kind of like releases like FBS programs, like
Yeah.
NIL breakdown of like what each player is getting and their contract and things of that nature. And it kind of I like it for the kids to get paid, but
Sure.
it's starting to take the integrity away from the game and the sport, and that that grind that kids once had, because like the NFL was, or the professional was the goal, and it was like I have to keep grinding, I have to stay down, I have to keep doing what I'm doing just so I could make it there, so that way I could finally get paid and things of that nature, and that kept kids hungry. That kept kids in the weight room longer. That kept kids in the facility longer, watching film and trying to be better. Whereas now, these kids are just like, as soon as they come out of high school, they're just, getting a crazy amount of cash, and they haven't even done anything on a collegiate level yet. And
Well, you're bringing up a good point. Again, I'm in Southern California, right? And I'm not the same across the country, but it's not just college anymore. It starts at high school, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And across different sports, and it just like you have a lot of young kids that all of a sudden get a lot of money, have little life experience, don't necessarily know what to do with it, right? And
Well, unfortunately, the bigger thing also is what is a high school athlete and a college athlete? They're a student athlete. You're there to get an education and learn, but student comes first. Now that's gone, and now if they get all this money and they do their thing, where's the education to fall back on? At the end of the day, what? NFL career is 2.5, 3.5 years long, so you got this high spending lifestyle that's not gonna last at all.
100%, and that's another issue too, because I had asked one of the kids that I was training, and he was just telling me about like guys that are bouncing around, because I know some kids that went to a different school every year and they've been in college for 4 years, and I'm used to, if your credits don't transfer, then you can't really transfer to that school if they don't accept your credits or things of that nature. So I was asking him like, how does that work now that they got NIL and stuff, and I think guys bouncing around, like how is their graduation time aligned with all this transferring? They basically said like the schools kind of figure out a way to get around that, but it's unfortunate for the kid because the money is involved, but the school is not going to just pass you because you're getting paid. Your graduation time is still getting pushed back and pushed back. So there's kids all around the country that have been to 4 or 5 different schools and have no degree at all. And I feel like for me, if I'm one of these kids, and if I'm going to stay in college for 5 to 6 years or whatever they're doing now to kind of keep getting that money, I gotta leave with at least a master's or 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to leave with something just other than just the money that the school is giving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's such a shit show. It's like, where do you even start to fix it?
Yeah, I don't really know. And it's that I was having a conversation with someone else about this too. It's kind of hard because it's not like a professional organization where you have a PA, you have a union, and things of that nature to put some of these kind of structure plans in place. This is like just a free for all out here. It's just like they're just throwing money around, throwing cash around with no real accountability. It's kind of like it looks good from the outside looking in, but I know internally it's not really. We're going to see in about 10 years like the downfall of what this actually is. Maybe even.
Well, again, to both of your points, right? To Eric's point in terms of like you're there to get an education, you're going to see people transferring and again messing up their education, yet maybe never going to turn pro, right?
Yeah.
So, and then they don't have the literacy necessarily in terms of like if they do make some money at that new school, well, that could help you start a new business, because only the 1% that are going to go pro, right? Yeah. It could really help, set somebody up, but yeah. Unfortunately, like again, I think lots of improvement there. But
Sure.
Enough of the serious stuff. I got a couple of follow-up questions for you. Yes, Eric, you're right. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, Dexter. From a playing perspective, you're a defensive back, right? Do you press cover a lot? Do you get a little physical with them? Do you talk shit beforehand? Before the snap of the ball, you try to get under their skin. What's your style, Dexter?
Yeah, for me, initially going into the game, I kind of like to feel how the game is gonna flow. Like for
Are
me,
you the one at the like in the middle of the field, kind of yapping at the other team, kind of
no,
crossing?
not pregame, not pregame. I'm not really doing too much. If it's approached to me, then I'll match the energy 100%. And it's like for me, don't poke the bear. Like once you get me started, now it's my turn to finish it.
Everybody, every single one of you guys ever says this, and I'm just wondering. Who is the actual guy that starts it? Because basically what I'm hearing is nobody that starts it.
Yeah, no,
None of them starting it.
There's really some guys that like their whole goal is like, let me just start something just to be obnoxious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to start, just be prepared for me to finish it. That's all. That's all I say. But for me, like as soon as the game starts, I just wait for that one pass to come my way, and that's all it takes. Because for me, it feels disrespectful that you just, especially early in the game, you just want to come my way. Like you could have at least, went through a different progression of people before you just came at me. But if you're coming at me right away and I make a play on it or I break the pass up or everything, I usually, if the receiver doesn't say anything or he doesn't, I'll probably say something to him. But if he's not really giving me any energy back, I go straight to the quarterback. And then when I start yapping at the quarterback, now I'm in his head because now he feels like he has to throw my way and he has to do whatever. And if the quarterback doesn't say anything, then I go to the when I'm on their sideline, I start trying to point at their offensive coordinator and start.
You're going after coaching staff too. I like your stuff. There you go.
After coordinators a lot and coaching staffs. And especially like when, we get a third down stop or something like that, and we have to like cross each other to go back to each other's sideline. That's when I get my little snarky
So what do you like to say to them? What's your phrase that you always go to them?
I don't know.
Just figure out Eric is the offensive coordinator. What are you telling him?
Yeah, so if I'm talking to the offensive coordinator, I'll probably just tell them in a very nice way to draw something up so that they can come at me. Draw something up. Whatever they're doing right now isn't working. So they might want to get their stuff together and things of that nature. If I'm talking to the receiver, I might tell them that, whatever they've been doing is not working. Go talk to your quarterback. Find them. Get them to find you some ways to get the ball because whatever y'all got planned is not working today. And if I'm talking to the quarterback, I'm just yelling at him all pre-snap, like, yo, I'm over here. Like, come look over here. Come this way with it so I can hand you the ball back to you and things of that nature. But, like, a lot of
obviously, you communicate that in a lot more colorful way than you just explained.
Yeah, that's why it's hard for me to explain it to you guys right now.
No, I get it.
This
is unfiltered. You could just say it.
Yeah, but it's like I can't even – I don't know what it is about me. Like as soon as I get on the field, it's like this weird switch that flips, and I don't even know what I'm saying sometimes. It's just like it comes out naturally, and it's like uncontrolled, like just like I don't even know where it comes from. It's just like I said, once I get going, it's hard to stop me, and
so you go in beast mode on the field, and you're a different player.
Yeah, but the funny thing is like I think I was telling Ronnie this too. It's never personal. Like after the game, the funniest part is after the game, we're all just like dapping each other up, right? To that nature, and just happy that everybody was able to walk away healthy and things of that nature. But within those 60 minutes, it's like it's chaos. It's a lot of crazy things being said. It's like the most unheard of, unhinged things are being said. It's like it's crazy.
What's the hardest hit you've given someone?
The hardest hit. I think I don't really hit hard, to be honest. I try to protect my body as much as possible. But my whole thing is if he can't see me coming, then I can hit him as hard as I want. But if he's squared up with me, I'm smaller. I understand that I'm one of the smaller people on the field. So if he squared up with me, you can call me what you want to call me. I'm going low, and as long as you get on the ground, then I did my job. So I don't really. I've hit a couple guys that like hit them out of bounds as soon as they caught the ball. Hit them from the side and things of that nature. But I can't really think of any big hits that kind of just stand out. I done made a couple people fumble and things of that nature, but nothing like.
You're more of a cover finesse guy, right?
Yeah, for sure, 100% finesse.
Yeah, your size. I used to, when I was in LA, I took care of cornerback Troy Hill with the Rams. And he was like, he gave me some of his clothes when he left the Rams. They couldn't fit me. I was bigger than him. I gave them to my daughter, actually.
Yeah, a lot of us cornerbacks, we like when people see us in person, they don't realize that we're even football players. Like they're just like so small. Like I'm like, yeah, but I'll get the big guys down to the ground, and that's all that matters.
Right.
So how do you cover, small, obviously, again, finesse, quickness, and all that stuff, but how do you cover a guy that's like 6'4",
Yeah, like I said, it goes back to like one of the first questions you asked me. It's just all technique.
Technique.
Like I said, it's not for me. It's not like I've just shrunk out of nowhere and I have to adapt to this body. Like I've been, the shorter guy all my life, so it's like something that I know my strengths and I know where I'm weak at, and my job is just to obviously, hide my weaknesses in the best way I can with my technique. So for me, when I'm going against bigger guys, I'm actually strong. So like I did 17 reps on the bench for pro day and things of that nature. So I don't have no problem pressing bigger receivers because I'm able to stabilize them sometimes just with my hands and things of that nature. But I also have great feet to where I can, as long as I don't let you get to your spot and I meet you there or I beat you there. And by the time the ball gets in the air, I know that when you jump, you have to come back down with the ball. No matter what, everything that goes up has to come down. So when you're coming down with the ball, as you coming down, I'm punching up. Like as you come down, I'm punching up. And that's usually how I get most of my PBUs against bigger receivers, is because on their way down, while they think they have the ball, that's when I jump. So when they're coming down, I start jumping, and that's when I'm able to kind of break up a lot of passes versus bigger receivers.
Yeah, we had a receiver a cornerback like that with the Jets. Aaron Glenn, he was an undersized guy. He's a really good. I mean, you would agree with that. I know that's not, the guy you want to talk about, but
Nah, yeah, I'm a DB before anything. So even though I'm a Patriots fan, I love all the great DBs. I love Revis when y'all had Revis.
Yeah. Well, you had him too. You won actually a championship with you guys.
But yeah, I'm always a DB guy first. And Aaron Glenn, he's a prototype for smaller DBs. And then you guys just drafted D'Angelo Pons. So
yeah, from Indiana.
From Indiana, he's a feisty type of DB, shorter DB, but like I said, he's a smaller guy that plays big, and that's what you have to be when you're an undersized cornerback.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
Eric, you can say something too.
Walk off 10.
Yeah, let's do it. Sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna ask you 10 either true, false, or one word answer questions.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so true or false? Every incomplete pass was actually your fault for not intercepting it.
Every incomplete pass was my fault for not. True.
One word.
Humble guy.
Favorite thing to hear from a quarterback after a pick?
The F word.
True or false? You have celebrated a pass breakup before confirming it wasn't a flag.
Yes, true, 100%. You have to sway the referee sometimes.
Yeah, but has it ever been overturned?
Oh yeah, 100%. And then I start jawing at the referee.
Hardest receiver to cover, speed or trash talk?
Speed,
Yeah.
100%.
True or false? Defensive backs secretly believe they are wide receivers who got overlooked.
We are wide receivers. That is true, and that's not a secret. It's not anything. It's a real fact.
What's scarier, 4.2 speed or a perfectly thrown fade?
Perfectly thrown fade, 100%. You can't beat a perfect ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. True or false? If a receiver slips, you immediately act like it was elite coverage.
It is elite coverage. It is. That's a fact. They didn't slip during pat and go, so obviously it was something I did.
All right, I like it. Most important DB skills: speed, hands, confidence, or amnesia.
I'd say it's a split between confidence and amnesia.
Got
Yep, I think it's a split.
After giving up a touchdown, you instantly become a football analyst explaining why it wasn't your fault.
It's a lot of things that goes on that people don't understand. So you have to give me your perspective. True.
Which position talks more, the receiver or cornerback?
We do the cornerbacks. Yeah. We do.
Hey,
I got an add-on. Hold on a second, Eric. I got one add-on. You said initially when we started that you have Jamaican heritage, right?
Yes.
And because of that, you kind of started with soccer, right? Have you seen the movie Cool Runnings?
Yeah, one more time.
Cool Runnings. Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
What?
Have you heard of it?
Watch that movie.
No. Is it about track? Is it a track movie or soccer?
No, it's the other. It's the winter's part. It's winter sports.
It's
Bobsled.
the Jamaican bobsled team.
I've heard of it, but I never watched it. No, the bobsled team.
Now we know we're old, Eric.
Yeah. Hey, he
I've
got
heard of it,
the joke, so I thought he would get, cool running.
Nah,
Yeah, it's all good.
For the team. I gotta check it out though.
Yeah, no,
For
it's
sure,
a
you
good
gotta
one.
watch that one.
But hey, Dexter, thank you. I appreciate you giving us a little bit of insight of the psychology of a defensive back here. So thanks for that. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Good luck this season.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me. I love this, man. Thank you.
Thank
Anytime.
you.